What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. This is Raising Kanan episode 2 of season 2, and we already know what we're trying to do. We're trying to expand the business. We're trying to move to the 40s, get that place, put Lulu in charge of it. The only issue is we want to bring in Worrell. Worrell's going to be up under Lulu. The only problem with that is we tried to kill him, and he's also Unique's right-hand man. And we just seen Unique getting released from jail. So I don't know how this is going to work, but this is the plan that Rock put in place, and she told all of us this is what we're going to do. Now, before we jump into this episode and break it down, if you like power content, live after show discussions, recaps, and different character breakdowns, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram, MOEDOTJ. Now, let's jump into this because we need to know, is Malcolm going to be able to talk to Kanan this week and let Rock know that is my son? I want to talk to him. So let's jump into it. This is Raising Kanan, episode 2.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you if you want it.
We start the episode off where we left off, and that's between Malcolm and Rock at the park. Now, the conversation does start off a little slow, and Malcolm mentions there's always somebody watching. We don't need to talk about what he's been through. We know he survived leukemia. He's the 117th precinct miracle. He got shot by his son. Now he's here, and he speeds the conversation up and says, you know what? I want to talk to Kanan, Rock. That's my son. Of course, Rock is still trying to deny it. She says, oh, he's not your son. I don't even know who his dad is. Well, Malcolm ran a DNA sample and it came back that he is the father of Kanan. Rock, she sees the paper and she's a little nervous. She's wondering, I might really need to tell Kanan about this. You remember Malcolm is supposed to have amnesia? Well, he tells Rock after he proves that he is the father, that kid, he can't shoot for shit. Rock, she goes stale face because he remembers who shot and it's his son. So Rock, she's in a predicament right now. Kanan and Jukebox are in the living room watching TV. We seen the first episode. Kanan was really going through it, thinking about everything that has happened since he's been gone and what led up to him leaving, shooting Malcolm. Now you hear Jukebox say, that's the good part about you, Kanan. There's a part of you that cares. And basically what she's doing is saying, don't lose that. Always care for people. That's good. We know that Kanan eventually loses this. Jukebox is the only one there that talks to him as a kid and can actually relate to him and have Kanan open up, especially at this point in his life. Howard is still trying to tell Rock, you can't deny what science proves to be fact, and that is I am Kanan's father. Rock, she doesn't want to tell him this, and he's saying you got to do this for our son. But now here's where it gets interesting. On my live last week, we had a theory where we said that they're going to assume that Scrappy is snitching, and that's exactly what he tells Rock. He told Rock, the guy with one eye patch that got caught gambling, he's a snitch. Now, Rock doesn't want to believe that because that's one of her loyal soldiers, but it's a potential chance that it could be him. The whole time I was saying it's probably his mother. So now she has to deal with the cop knowing her son shot him, and she has to deal with a snitch potentially within the organization. Kanan goes to his boy Famous's house. He hasn't seen him since he been back. It's time that we link up. When he gets there, Jessica opens the door and she's telling Kanan, you need to get Sean up right now. Not Famous, Sean, before our mom comes home. And that's because he has a girl upstairs. Y'all know how it was when you're a teenager. You're not supposed to have them over here. Get him up out of here. Now they wake him up. He's laid out. What do we know about Famous right now? He smokes. He don't write no lyrics. And he getting shorties now. Now, mom comes home a little bit sooner than we thought she was, and she is upset with Famous. She said, I know you stole that money out of my purse to go get high. He's trying to explain that the girl was locked out of the dorm. The mom ain't having it. She opens up a drawer, takes his clothes, and tells him to get the hell out the house. Mr. Marvin in the anger management classes. Now, he's sitting in there. He always has food. This time, we're talking about Fritos. Yeah, Frito-Lays. Now, you hear Renee talking about what triggers us. Everyone's saying, telling somebody to do something multiple times, noise. Then they get to our man Marvin. They ask him, what triggers you? He said, nothing. I'm good all the time. Now, one of the other guys, I think his name was Gary, he stands up and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna come over there and whoop on you, Marvin. And Marvin is calm, cool, calm, and collective. He ain't worried about nothing. You heard him. He's good. And he told him after he wiped the spit out of his eye, he said, I wish you would try to whoop on me. Marvin was going to give this man severe problems. Renee was like, hey, cut it out, guys. Cut it out, guys. After last week when we seen Jukebox go into that shoebox and find a picture of her mother, she wants to talk to Rock about her mother Kenya. And she's saying, what do you remember about my mom? Now Rock, she's saying your mother was good. She was a good person. She could sing, and that's where you got your talent from. It's just sometimes bringing a child into the world might be a little bit harder, and that's why she left. But she's missing out on something good because you're a wonderful person. So right now she's trying to console Jukebox. You got to remember, this is the only female figure that Jukebox has. So Rock's job is to make sure that she feels good and she's comfortable and understands that, yeah, your mom may have left, but you got us, your family here, and we're going to make sure everything is all right. So we know that this is going to lead Jukebox to go look for her mother. Nicole's mother shows up to the 117th precinct, RIP to Nicole, and she's saying they let out Nicole's killer, which is Levine. Levine is not Nicole's killer. Nicole took the drugs and took it herself. And that's what the captain is trying to say. I read the case file. That wasn't the instance. Your daughter did that at home. Now, Nicole's mother, of course, she's irate because she lost her daughter and she's blaming everybody. She said her daughter's blood is on everyone's hands here. And for all I care, y'all let my daughter's killer out. The captain is saying we can't do anything because that's not what happened. She storms out and you hear Detective Burke tell Captain, thank you for taking my bag. And the captain is saying, I didn't take your bag. What I did was protect the precinct. I didn't protect you. I was doing this for us and all of the other police officers here. So if we get another case, people will understand and they will be able to trust us. Now it's time to handle business. Rock brings back the information that she got from Malcolm talking about Scrappy, the one with the eye patch, the one eye guy. He might potentially be a snitch. Now you hear Lulu saying he ain't no snitch. It ain't no way how. No shape, no form, no fashion. This man rode for us. He lost his eye for us. He bled for us. He's not going to be a snitch. Now you hear Marvin talking about, well, there is one other guy with one eye. I seen him at the barbershop. I seen his lips started to twitch. And everybody's like, hey, bro, get focused, Marvin. Because you know he just goes down his own path. Now they got to question Scrap and try to fill him out to see if he's actually snitching. They finally get Royale to show up so they can talk to him about potentially coming in and taking over the 40s and work right up under Lulu. Now, Royale, he was smart. He said, I told my mom exactly where I was going. Of course, he didn't disclose the information they were going to be talking about because he didn't know. But he did say, I'm going over Raquel's. I'm going to this building, Mom. So if anything happens, they'll know exactly where to look for me. We're going to see if he's loyal or not to Unique. Famous is now a homeless famous person. All he has is a trash bag, his clothes, and some mixtapes. And he's telling Kanan, man, let me come stay at your house. And Kanan's saying, we already got Jukebox there. It ain't no space. He talking about, man, I might have to go sleep at a train station in the bathroom or something. I don't know. But Kanan is listening to him, and maybe they should sell the mixtapes and try to make some money because Famous needs somewhere to stay. And if he can come up with a couple of dollars, he can get a room somewhere. Rock is laying it all out. Royale, look, we own the South Side. You ain't gonna get nothing but a half day's work of work in. So what are you gonna do? Unique is out. He's radioactive. Dean not gonna sell to him. No one's gonna mess with Unique with that cop shooting hanging over his head. So what they want him to do is come in because Rock knows that he's a hard worker. We know that you be out there hustling. So come get money with us because you're gonna be starving without Unique. No one's gonna give you any kind of work. So you come work with us. We're going to put you over at the 40s and you're going to be up on the Lulu. Now you hear him ask, Lulu, is that going to be cool with you? Lulu looked at him, put a piece of gum in his mouth and said, we ain't dating, we working. So it's all about them dollars, that green. And Royale, he looks like he's in for it. Kanan and Famous head straight to Bulletproof Records and they ain't here getting the rest of the mixtape so they can try to sell it and make some money. In comes Lulu and he's like, what are y'all doing? He daps up Kanan. Famous tries to get a dap. He just looks at him. And they're like, well, we're going to try to sell these mixtapes, get Famous some rent money, and we're going to give you your cut. Lulu is like, all right, don't worry about it. I already wrote that stuff off. Basically, he knew that this was going to be a loss, and Famous is just a tax write-off. Let me find out that Lulu knows how to file taxes. He pulls Famous off to the side, and he says, listen, you come up with some new flows, put some stuff on some paper, and put the weed down. I'm going to put you back in the studio. Famous is like, word? He daps him up and tells him word is bond. So they about to hit the block with these mixtapes. Hopefully Famous, he gets the motivation to actually get back to writing with the pen and the pad. Because Lulu just told him, I'll put you back in the booth. Rock might have two rat problems. The first rat problem is potentially our boy Scrappy being a rat. And the second one is at Juliana's at the little bodega in the back room, it's boxes full of money. Now the rats, they're getting in these boxes and they're eating up the money. We see this from time after time. Pablo had that same problem. And Juliana's saying there's so many rats here, I gotta change the traps 10 times a day. Rock is saying get an exterminator out here. And Juliana makes a very valid point. She says, I'm saving my money to buy me a house back home in my home country. Rock, you're saving all this money to be eaten by rats. Rock's not trying to hear it. She thinks about it. She listens to it. She hears it. She still tells Juliana to get an exterminator. And the reason she did that was to exert her power. You may recommend something to me, but things still run the way I want it to run. That's the main reason she said, get an exterminator out here. Because her and Juliana, they built a good relationship with each other. But remember, it's a business relationship. The meeting we all been waiting on. It's Marvin's job to go talk to Scrap. Scrap is his man. Scrap is right up under him. Scrap wanted that job over at the 40s, but they gave it to Roel. Now, we know he was arrested last episode. Him and his mom was in the precinct, so Marvin is just filling them out. Where were you at last night? He's saying I was hanging pictures from my cousin Ebony out there in Corona. Marvin takes him in the back, and you can hear the emotion in Scrap, and he's saying, look, have Roel do that. Y'all passed me over. I did everything for y'all. I lost my eye. It's hard hanging pictures with one eye. It's hard tying my shoe with one eye. But everything I did for y'all, and I came back swinging. Now, Marvin is just trying to see, you know what I'm saying, if he's going to slip up. So he says, what was your cousin's name out there? He said, Ebony. Why does it matter? He's upset because he doesn't have that position. Now, we don't know what went on in that precinct. We know him and his mother was in there, though. Now, right now, with the way he's acting and in his feelings a little bit, that could indicate maybe he is snitching because we ain't put him on. But I think Marvin knows Scrap better than anybody. We also know that Lulu, he was vouching for Scrap. You have to watch Rock closely. I'm telling you, she hears things that are going on and she's going to adjust to them accordingly. She heard what Juliana was saying about saving and moving, getting to a better place. So she went to go look at houses. Now, of course, as realtor, she's looking at Rock, a black woman. She's trying to give her some neighborhoods that are probably middle class at best. Rock don't want that. I'm paying cash. I don't need to see what my credit looks like. I'm paying cash and I want a house in one of them pricier neighborhoods. Now, she also does have to prove proof of income for the last 2 years, taxes. Rock said, I got all that. So we in the business. Juke is at the house and she's still looking at that picture of her and her mother. Now, while she's looking at it, she also pulls out Detective Burke's NYPD card. Is she going to hit up Detective Burke and contact her and say, hey, can you help me find my mother? That could be something, but this could be Detective Burke's way in with Jukebox to try to figure things out and connect the dots between Kanan and Malcolm. Marvin's doing some investigating of his own. What did he do? He drove out to Corona to Ebony's house. Now, Ebony is our boy Scrap's cousin. And he's saying, I heard you might need some handiwork around here. I'm a handyman. You need some pictures hung, some gutters cleaned. I got your name from up the block. She's like, nah, I ain't hung a picture on my wall or a poster since the Thriller album. And that was 1982. Marvin is like, wait a minute. Scrap just told me all this. Scrap lied. He didn't come out here. So this isn't looking good for Scrap right now. Lulu is letting Crown hear the music that Ziza recorded last episode. Of course, Crown, he's not hearing it, and Lulu wants to sign her. Crown is saying, nah, that ain't gonna work. But in comes Cartier Duns. Now, he's a big dog. I did a little breakdown on him. He does music. He's in the fine arts, uptown, downtown, wherever. And he knows Lulu from back in the day. That Thomas family name is strong. Now, he's saying, Ziza, that's my niece. You pulled up on her. Now, it's not really his niece, but he has a business proposition. We work together with a singles deal. And if it blows up, hey, you know what I'm saying? We'll make it happen from there. Crown is hearing this and he's saying that's not good business, because if she blows up, that doesn't mean she'll sign to our label. You see what I'm saying? She'll only have a singles deal so she can go sign wherever she wants and they'll lose out on that money. But Dunn just told them this is non-negotiable. And Lulu said it's on. They signing her for the single deal with Dunn's. Kanan and Famous, they hit the block just like a street team should. The only problem is Kanan is the only one trying to sell stuff. Puerto Rican Famous is over there talking about, it's me, baby. Ain't no one trying to buy that. Kanan talking about 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 100 for 1. It don't matter. Nobody wants these famous mixtapes. Who is a Puerto Rican famous? Who is that? No one knows. No one wants this tape. Now, Famous did say he sold 1, and that was just to get a hit off the blunt. That's how far gone this young man is. But in the process of slanging these mixtapes, the cops, they put him against the wall. The cops are talking bad to him. What's your rapper name? Famous. Famous the rapper? Well, you know you need a permit to sell anything on the streets. Y'all know how New York is. We done seen it all the time. They always harassing people. But they said, we're going to cut y'all some slack because it don't look like y'all selling anything. Kanan is upset. Famous is upset because they didn't dump them all out the bag. But y'all really ain't selling nothing there. Marvin goes to talk to his lawyer for 2 reasons. One, this anger management class, I got to sit in here every single week. I thought I could sign in and bounce. His lawyer talking about, nah, some of the instructors, they make you sit through it and you got to do what they want you to do or it's back to the jailhouse. He also got information on Tony. You remember she was an informant. Well, she's gone and it looks like she's about to be engaged to a dentist. And Marvin says she does got some nice teeth. They hurt though. So I don't know if he's actually going to go out there and try to find Tony or what's going to happen with this. This could push him closer towards Renee. Jukebox did reach out to Detective Burke to try to find where her mother Kenya is. And when she gets there, she has a whole document. She gives the background on Kenya. She's been divorced, no kids, and here's her apartment. This is where she lives. Now, this could be Jukebox getting closer and closer to Detective Burke, and we can start to see the cop part of her life grow and blossom from here. Now, when she gets out the car, she just says, all right, she got the address, and you hear Detective Burke say, you owe me. So now, if anything comes up, Jukebox owes an explanation about it. Detective Howard is in the interrogation room with some of his colleagues, and they're trying to get any information they can about that night. We heard at the beginning of the episode, he told Rock that he knew it was Kanan. But in here, he's protecting his son. He's telling the cops, I don't remember nothing from that night. I wish I could help you. Now, they did run DNA samples on the blood that was on the jacket. The blood didn't match him or Kadeem, aka Unique. Now, there was a junkie out there, but he was too high. He said he's seen a kid, but he can't remember anything. So Detective Howard is like, man, I wish I could help. And when he leaves, you hear them say he is a hero. NYPD Hall of Fame. He is a hero. Took a bullet, he survived, and he's still coming back to work. So Detective Howard, he's looking out for his son, Kanan. Rock finally talks to Kanan about some of the information she might potentially know. You could tell she's nervous. She's smoking a cigarette. That leg is shaking. You know that nervousness shake. Yeah. And she's telling Kanan that cop, that nosy cop, he might come up and ask you something. But don't worry about it because he might not. And Kanan is very nervous. He hasn't been the same since this second season has started. He's came back. That's always on his mind. And now he's hearing that his mom knows that this cop might potentially know that he shot him and could come talk to him. Yeah, this is getting very, very nerve-wracking for Kanan. She's trying to keep Kanan calm and tell him, we good, man. Don't worry about it. He's not going to say nothing. Nothing is going to happen. And Kanan, you could tell this boy wants to cry. The lady that was in the bodega, that was Unique's baby mother. And she's seen Rock. Now we're at her mother's house because they need a place for Unique to stay for a little bit. Because the block is hot over there, the cops are going to keep messing with him. And the mom, she's upset. I told you he could stay here one night. And Unique is saying, listen, I was providing before I got locked up. You weren't complaining then. Now his girl, she's saying, look, I seen Rock today. We made eye contact and it was scary. But Unique is saying Rock ain't going to do nothing outside. Rock ain't built like that because he knows who Rock is. But he doesn't know how powerful she has got since he's been gone for 3 months. The Thomas family meet. And what they're sitting down discussing is what are they going to do about Scrap? Marvin followed him, but they can't confirm if he was in there snitching or not. I went and checked out Corona. They said he wasn't out there. Now you hear Rock saying, I got some inside information that he was in the precinct talking to police. That was from Detective Howard. But you hear Lulu saying, unless we confirmed it and we're 1000% sure, let's not move on it. And if we do move on it, I'm not doing it. That's because Lulu believes that Scrappy is loyal to him. Marvin said, don't put this on me. I did what y'all asked. I just couldn't confirm nothing. So really, Rock is the only one that believes that Scrap is a snitch. Unique comes to pay a visit to Dean. We know Dean is the man. He be in the bingo hall, his grandma in there. And when he gets in there, Ephraim, the security, he's basically checking Unique and saying Dean only meets with friends and family and you're neither. Well, the sit down happens. Dean comes over and lets him in. Neek is saying, when I get back on top, I give you a 30% premium, meaning for every dollar, he's going to get 30% on top of that. Dean is saying, you're not a good investment. Everybody in the streets and even the NYPD says you're still an interest in that shooting. You got to clear your name up in these streets. Right now, I can't do nothing with you. Oh, and on top of that, Rock and the Colombians, they took your neighborhood. They in your territory. There's no competition right now. And that's the end of this meeting. Get the hell out of here. Unique ain't got no work. He ain't got no crew. He ain't got no territory. He leaves up out of the bingo hall. He just throws the whole buffet on the ground. Everyone looking like, hey, man, I ain't even give me a plate yet. Over at Bulletproof Records, Jessica and Lulu, they're getting it in, after she left Crown's spot. Yeah. Crown offered Jessica a job in LA. He said, I can find you a job out there. I know a few connects. And guess what? Jessica took him up on his offer and she said she's leaving tomorrow. She just now told Lulu this. And he's thinking about it. Damn, you're just now going to tell me about this? And Crown got you a job? So he's putting two and two together. Y'all been talking behind my back. But also, you're just going to up and leave your brother famous? Jessica's saying, I got to look out for myself. Because if no one does, who will but me? So she's leaving. And Lulu, he keeps it player. He don't get upset. He tells her, get the fuck out my studio. Jukebox goes to the address. She got the picture in hand so she can know exactly what her mother looks like. And we see Kenya come out and she hops in a car. No cares in the world, just going on about her day. But Jukebox is like, all right, I got eyes on you. It's been a long 3 months, and without Unique on the block, no one even cares about Smooth Fit. They done broke in, they done stole stuff. Unique came home to absolutely nothing. That's how fast a New York minute is. In 3 months, he lost everything. Worrell shows up and he's looking at the place, torn to shreds. And Neek is like, man, we need to get the crew back. I ain't got nothing. Dean ain't messing with me. We're gonna have to do something. But Worrell stands up for himself and he tells Neek, there ain't nothing left for you on the south side. You're gonna have to get out. I'm on to bigger and better things. And Neek is like, wait a minute. You still here in the south side. I ain't got nothing in the south side. Dean told me Rock done took over everything. So you on Rock's D? He's like, man, sometimes it be like that. And boy, when I tell you, Unique got upset. He said, I ain't going nowhere. Rock ain't gonna make me go nowhere. The cops ain't gonna make me go nowhere. I'm right here. Worrell said, I ain't going nowhere either. Definitely not with you. So he switched up on Unique. It's time for Jessica to leave. She's hugging her mom. Then she comes over to Famous. Famous is like, I ain't tripping. I started this music stuff without you. I'm gonna blow up without you. She's saying, that's good. I want you to blow up. But when she leaves, you see Famous, he actually cracks a tear. That's his sister. Now Kanan shows up and he's trying to act tough, talking about, man, who gives a fuck about all this? But it hurts, man. That's your sibling. Y'all grew up together. Y'all been through everything. She was supposed to be your manager. Lulu and Marvin, they pick up Scrappy. Now they're riding and it looks like they told him that he's about to get the third building. We're going to have Baisley. We're going to have the 40s. And now we got the new spot for Scrap. So he's excited, but no one's talking. Marvin and Lulu, they're very serious. He talking about, ooh, we going to have this thing running, a big raise, a new job. He is hype, but this don't look like what he really thinking they about to get into. Exactly what we thought was going to happen. He was too hype. They didn't even want to look at him. And they both told Rock they weren't going to be the one to do it. And all we see is a little revolver, black glove. And he knew it. He just said, oh no. And boom, rockabye, baby. That's the end of Scrappy. Rock just made potentially one of the biggest mistakes in season 2 at the end of episode 2. Lulu left. You could tell Marvin, he was kind of hurt about it. And they just got our mans just laying on the ground. R.I.P. Scrap. R.I.P. to Scrappy. You hear older Kanan narrating. Sometimes there's just nothing else to say. No lesson learned, nothing. So he's just gonna shut up. R.I.P. to Scrap.